Hey guys, welcome to today's video, and I know I haven't been posting a lot of videos recently, but that's why I wanted to make this comparison between these four sets. Let's start over here with Obi Wans Hut, 7 Plus, set 75270, 200 pieces and 4 minifigures. We have over here Luke's Landspeeder, which is 7 Plus, set 75271, named Luke's Landspeeder, and 237 pieces, which includes 3 minifigs. Over here, we have the 501st Trooper Battle Pack, which has 295 pieces. It is set 75280 and has 6 minifigures. And over here, we have the Trouble on Tatooine, which is set 75299. It's labeled 7 Plus, has 276 pieces, and has 3 minifigures. So I'm comparing these sets because they're all $30. They're all available right now. And for now, they're all at $24 in your local Walmart or Target or nearby stores. So let me compare these sets. Let's start with box art. I'm gonna put you over here with all the box arts, and they're not all the same size. These two are wider than the others, but at the end of the day, there's not a problem. But in my opinion, the coolest box art has to be the 501st. I just love seeing everything behind with all the colors, and you see a ton of action where the other sets, you really see it very empty. At second place, with the second most points for this category, I'm gonna have to put the Trouble on Tatooine. I just love the landscape in behind and just love everything. At third place, I'm gonna have to put Luke's Landspeeder. I just love the things you see behind. Over here, we have Obi Wans Hut, and I just love it. And at fourth place, Obi Wans Hut, I just think it's a little bit bad. I mean, it just doesn't present anything out of the box. Over here, we have a moisture evaporator, but it really just does not sell it as much as the other sets. So let's move on to the minifigure category. So guys, now let's do the minifigure category. And there are a lot of minifigures and diversity between these sets. So let's start with Obi Wans Hut, which includes Obi-Wan, another farm boy Luke, R2-D2, and a Tusken Raider, which really is a fine and good, not outstanding minifigure selection for this set. Over here we have Luke's Landspeeder, which includes Luke, another Fireboy Luke. I believe it's the same, just that this one includes the pouch. We have C-3PO and a Jawa. I just think there could have been one more figure to complement this scene, but it's okay. Over here, the 501st. It's really outstanding, the minifigure selection they brought. We have first the Jet Trooper, which is the first figure. We have 3 of these, just this one has another weapon, and 2 battle droids. I just think they're so cool. They're gonna be very rare in the future, and they're pretty cool. And the last minifigure selection, the Trouble on Tatooine, which we have a Mandalorian in Beskar armor, which is pretty cool. We have Baby Yoda and another Tusken Raider. So in my opinion, the 501st really dwarfs the other sets. They're just so good. In second place, I'm gonna put the Obi Wans Hut. I just think 4 figs is enough, and it complemented the scene pretty good. At third place, I'm gonna put this one over the Luke's Landspeeder, since the Mando has arm print and just feels a lot cooler. It also has Baby Yoda, which is only present in sets that are more expensive. So I really do think this is third place, and the Luke's Landspeeder is fourth. But let's move on with the playability category. Let's start with Obi Wans Hut. And over here we have a crate, which you could put some binoculars in it. Just right now, I don't have anything in it. We have this control panel, so you could try it again inside Obi Wans Hut. Nothing over here. Over here is a pot. I don't know what they're eating. And this display on the outside looks pretty weird. This white, it just is outstanding compared to the rest of the house. Over here, there's nothing special, just a chimney. And over here, the entrance, which has a crate. Let's see what's in the crate. So in the crate, we have a lightsaber and one of these droids, which is the one that Luke tries to shoot on. And to build this droid, you just have to take this piece over here, put it over here, and then take this piece, transparent, which was over here. But let's move on with the Obi Wans Hut. Over here, we have the entrance we just saw. And over here, we have an exclusive Leia hologram. It's just pretty cool, and you can put R2-D2 over here as if he was projecting it. Over here we have some junk. Over here we have 2 seats, which Luke and Obi-Wan can sit on to see the transmission. And over here we have another seat where someone could eat, and over here is a milk, if I'm correct. So it's decent playability, and you can display this pretty cool because it's very accurate to the scene. But let's move on to the next set. So let's move on to Luke's Landspeeder, and let's start with over here, this piece of sand, to call it, where it is included in the set. There's really not much. We have a space to put the Jawa over here and his blaster. There's really not much. It's just really a side build to make you think the set is worth $30, but it's not that much. Over here you have the Luke's Landspeeder, and this is the finest edition we have to date. I just think it looks spectacular. Over here there's a lot of greebling compared to the other sets. I really love this technique. And over here we have two seatings, which we have. We have the steering wheel, we have a control panel over here, and we have a little space to put someone else in the middle, just if you want to. Over here we have a place to put Luke's weapon. And over here, you can open this in the back, open this up, and over here we have a pair of binoculars. Really, this set is cool, but it's very lacking in playability. But there's nothing bad to it. I mean, what could you do with this Luke's Landspeeder? You're not going to put spring-loaded shooters since it's just a regular speeder. But let's move on to the 501st Battle Pack. Let's start with ATRT with the 501st Battle Pack. You can move its legs, which is pretty cool. We have two places in the back to put binoculars or your weapons. Over here we have a control panel and a seat to put your 501st Trooper. Over here we have a stud shooter, which is pretty fun and it's playable. So let's move on to the next build of the 501st Battle Pack. Over here we have the Bark Speeder, which we have two stud shooters over here. We have two places to put guns and a seat. I just think this set is very playable since you have a lot of figures and vehicles to battle your droid army with your 501st. So let's move on to the next, which is Trouble on Tatooine. Let's begin Trouble on Tatooine with this set, which is the tent from the Tusken Raider. Over here we have just the campfire where you can put and sit figures. Over here there's really not much in the back. I really haven't placed figures over there because it just looks a little weird. And over here we have a bone inside a pot. So nothing crazy in the playability category. Over here we have a crossbow, and it really does not move much. The only real playability is the spring-loaded shooter. But as this thing does not have a lot of playability, let's move on to the next build of the Trouble on Tatooine. This is the most playable part of the Trouble on Tatooine set. We have a place to put Grogu over here. We have two places to put your weapons. You can put Mando over there and just ride the speeder. So let's do the results of the playability category. So now with the results, with all of these sets right now over here, I think the one with the best playability is the 501st. The quantity of minifigures and the playability with the stud shooters is pretty good, and it really just gives the 501st the first place. So in second place, I'm going to give it to Obi Wans Hut. I just think the recreation of the scenes, the movable parts, the things you can recreate are very nice, and it awards this set second place. In third place, I'm going to put Trouble on Tatooine. I just think it's very nice that you have three builds. They're not very playable, but they're pretty cool, and you can do a lot with them. And now at fourth place, we have Luke's Landspeeder. You just really can't do much aside from swooshing it around. There's just not much. I mean, this is a side piece which you can really do nothing with. Or if you just put your figures, put your gun, put your binoculars in the back, and that is it. Well, aside from swooshing it around. So I'm gonna give this set fourth place. They're just really not much. But in the display category, it can really change. So to the design and display category, let's move in. In my opinion, the set with the most display over here, it's gotta be Obi Wans Hut. I just think you can recreate the scene, putting R2 over here and put Obi-Wan and Luke in the back and the Tusken Raider out there. And it just recreates the scene so good. And many of the OG Star Wars fans remember that. So that is pretty cool. Whereas the 501st is that cool, but it has stud shooters, which don't help into the display category. So at our next spot has to be Luke's Landspeeder. I know it's not very playable, but it's a good display piece since it looks pretty cool and it is very recognized in the films, so people will love it. At our next spot is the Trouble on Tatooine. I just think with the three builds and everything, you can make a good display piece. And at last place is the 501st, and even though it has been #1 in the past categories, I just think the 501st is not good at displaying itself. It just doesn't do that. It's meant for minifigures, army building, and all of that. It's not meant for display. So that's why it takes that place. So let's move on to the value and my opinion category. So moving on with value, I think the set with the most value has to be the 501st. It just provides a lot of figs, playability, and decent playability, although it's really not meant for that. So, well, I dropped the figs. In second place, I'm gonna have to put Obi Wans Hut. I just think the recreation of the set is the killer feature. The figs are nice and decent playability. At third place, I'm gonna have to put Luke's Landspeeder. I just think it provides a better value than the other set. The Trouble on Tatooine just has small builds, whereas this set is pretty cool. We have this Luke, C-3PO, and the Jawa. And at last place has to be the Mandalorian Trouble on Tatooine set. I just think the builds are mediocre, and they should have concentrated on doing the Cobb Vanth Speeder and the Mando Speeder better. And that with Cobb Vanth, and that would have made this set so much cooler, but it's not. So for my personal opinion, I'm gonna have to do the 501st, Obi Wans Hut, Luke's Landspeeder, and the Trouble on Tatooine. I just think what I loved about Trouble on Tatooine was Beskar Armor Mando, but as there are tons of sets which you can get him in that are better than this one, this set just really looks terrible in that aspect. So that is my opinion. So now with the results, of course, you know who's the winner, which is the 501st. At second place, we have Obi Wans Hut. At third place, we have Luke's Landspeeder. And at last place, the Trouble on Tatooine. So let's rank these sets. They're all now $30 retail price. But at Walmart or Target, they're all, and I've seen them all, at $24. But let's talk about these two sets, because these two sets were released in January of 2020. They're very close to retirement. So with that in mind, the 501st, which was released a little later, and Trouble on Tatooine released this year, how do we rank these sets? I think number one has to be the 501st. It's just so good, it's gonna go up in value, and it's in the category where it's a must buy. It's really a must buy, and I can't say that for every set. So in second place, I'm gonna have to put Obi Wans Hut. I just think it's a very expandable set and a side recreatable. Because for example, I have the Mos Eisley Cantina, and for people that want to expand their Mos Eisley city, this is pretty cool because it includes many tan pieces, and this dome over here, which is the other set that includes that. So this set's gonna be retiring pretty soon. So this one's not a must buy. This is a must buy if you have the Cantina or other huge Tatooine sets. If you don't have those, this is just a regular set, and I'd put it buy it if you want category. And at third place, we have Luke's Landspeeder, because as well, it's gonna retire soon. But I just think you have a ton of these Landspeeders. I mean, I literally saw the 2017 Landspeeder with this one at Target, so it's a very repetitive set, and I think you have it. If you have this set, do not get it. But if you don't, I really do buy it, because I don't know when we're gonna get a new Luke's Landspeeder. It may be in 2022, but we don't know. I just think it's pretty cool. And at last place, with all the factors, this set is just not that good. I mean, if you want this Mando, you can really get him in another set like the Slave 1, Moff Gideon's Cruiser, or anything like that. And this set has not been for more than a year in the market, so it's not very good. So guys, you know what my results are and how you should get these sets, which one is a must buy, two are just nice, and this one is not a stay away, but it's not a set you would be looking for. So those are my results. What do you think, guys? Comment down below what do you think, and see you in the next video. Bye!